Really. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday Mastermind. And today we're just going to have an open mastermind and discuss what you guys want to discuss. You know, we do this once a month. The open mastermind, all the other Tuesdays, we have a specific trainer coming in and doing some training for us. But today is going to be the mastermind. So let's just open it up. We've got our regionals. We've been talking. We've got our regionals going around the country going on. And so I know Colorado's going on today, and we usually have a lot of folks from Colorado on. So we may have a smaller group, but that's okay. The ones that are here are supposed to be the ones here today. So who has something that they just want to discuss or open up and talk about? All right, awesome. Well, let's jump. What you got?
Well, since it's a small group and I can share with y'all veterans, I don't know if y'all are as new to real estate as I am. I'm no longer provisional in North Carolina. I'm a full broker, but I have yet to make my first sale. And my mentor and we clashed and I lost my mentor this week, hence why I wasn't at the rally. My mind has been so caught up. So I kind of wanted your take, Kathy, or anyone else on in these kind of emotional moments where we have to kind of, put things aside. One of the problems I'm having is as a new broker, just being able to concentrate when these things happen in life, and we are our work, we are our brand. And so I'm kind of devastated about, the regional rally, and I'll find something around, but how do you make up for it on days like this, if you don't mind me asking?
I can maybe talk to that as well. I'm a certified mentor, so and I've had quite a few mentees, and I've had some of them didn't work. Not that we necessarily, wouldn't use the word clashed, but they were expecting something different than what I was willing to give, and so anyway. But you can go in and I can't think but you can find it and just go into World and you can request a new mentor.
Well, we definitely want to get you a new mentor. Have you been assigned a new mentor yet? Or
so they sent me a list, and Stephen, thank you so much. And that's the thing, just to share with y'all, my mentor, and I hope I'm not boring y'all. He and we were together 8 months, and I didn't really request too much of him because I'm not one to ask for too much help, and maybe that's on me. So I really took it into my own hands because I know that mentors are still busy with their own job. They're still doing their own thing. So our clash came, and I say clash because it was sadly a clash when I wanted to join a team. He was on the team, the Kimsey Evans team, and here in North Carolina. And then he found out that he kind of never let me know that if I joined a team, I wouldn't need a mentor. So I'm not really sure what happened, but I told him just one boundary after 8 months. I said, Ted, if possible, I have a meeting at 5:15 with another team. If you can just, if we can talk about, he's not to talk poorly about anyone, but he's more of like a gossiper type person who likes to talk about things. I'm more about moving forward, but right now I'm telling you guys about what's happened. So I haven't really moved forward, as you can tell. So I didn't want to talk to him about anything that wasn't positive or uplifting. I think fundamentally they didn't take me on the team because they didn't have enough leads. That's what they told me. They didn't have enough Zillow Flex leads, and that, the market, they just wanted to be fair to me. Ted is on that team. I'm not sure if he was embarrassed. Anyway, to make a long story short, I'm not really sure where we disconnected, but it was heart-wrenching to just know that he could not just accept me saying, I'm just going to interview with the team today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow about whatever. And then, that's where we clashed. So it wasn't really a clash, but it was a little off-putting to the point I almost left EXP. So Stephen, I'm sure you've had these situations. People are people and they don't get along for whatever reason. And sometimes it could just be a bad day and that could end your mentorship. So I just appreciate y'all listening because I've been so in my head about it and I'm so driven. So I just want to hear from y'all. And so I appreciate that.
Well, doesn't does your new team that you're joining, does it have a mentor within its ranks?
So the new team I wanted to join, Ted is part of it. So I don't know if that's going to be a conflict. And so that
Oh,
team, they said they don't have enough leads. I went in there. I ended up making the most calls out of everyone, winning their competition out of everyone on their team. And so I don't know if they were intimidated by my work ethic or intimidated by maybe my personality, whatever it is. Sometimes you're just not a good fit, you know? And at this point, the mentors that they've given me, it's a very short list. And one of them is Holly Kinsey Evans, who I adore. I would love to be on her team. I wanted to be on her team, but she doesn't have enough leads. I don't know if that'll be a conflict. So today I'm going to spend some time looking at them. There's probably like 3 left. And I think, Stephen, I'm just going to go with just someone who can handle me where I'm at. I understand the offer to purchase contract and everything valid in North Carolina. I just need someone who's going to be there for me as I actually make these transactions. I think Ted was a little competitive with me. When that happens, we're all competitive, but I just really need someone at the end so I can take care of these 3 transactions and move on to whatever. But I would love to find a team. So I'll let y'all know how it goes. Hopefully it'll go well this week.
Well, let me add a couple of things to that. Being on a team and being mentored is 2 different things. Because if you're on a team and they're supplying you leads, and I apologize, somebody's outside, my dog is barking. Somebody's clanking around. So if you can hear that, I apologize. But being on a team, if you're on a true team where they're giving you leads, usually they're providing some training, all of that. And there's a lot of structure around a true team, then EXP doesn't require you to have a mentor, because the team lead is sort of, whether they're a certified mentor or not, they're seen as the mentor. Because, that's part of the reason why people have joined teams, for training, mentorship, guidance, and leads. And so if you end up not on a team, then yes, you will need to have another mentor assigned to you. And I would just say, reach out to your managing broker there and get some guidance from them to help pair you, maybe with your personality style and everything, to pair you with the right mentor for you. Now, as far as sort of, getting out of your head and there's a lot going on. I mean, this business is a lot like that. So you're learning, right off the bat, through the fire with just situations that come up, right? This time it happens to be with the mentor. It's going to happen with clients as you get really into production. There's going to be some situations, that may be a little challenging. But one of the things that was talked about yesterday with the 2 icons that flew in is a lot of winning the game of real estate, as I'll say, is our mindset. It's really about how we address and how we handle and how we react to the situations that we come across, because this business can be a very emotional business for realtors and clients too, right? And so it is a lot about how we choose to just take what's going on and what we choose to do with it, and it's a lot easier. I understand it's easier said than done sometimes, right? But I guess how I look at things from people when I'm having a conflict, if you will, I come from a mindset of that they're dealing with their own issues. I don't know what they're dealing with. It's kind of bless and release them and not take it personal.
That's why I want to thank y'all, because I didn't want him to think I was taking it personal. So I just didn't take it personal. But as the days come on, trying to figure out, is the team best? Because I learned more in a week from that team on Grit Week than I had learned in the entire 8 months with him. And, Tim Hollenden, who essentially helped bring me on, he said, Mel, you don't need a team. But I think for someone like me at this point, like maybe for my first year, and maybe the next mentor will be enough just for me to do this alone. And being with y'all, I don't know if I know y'all are on the Freedom team, but can you explain that? I know that we're all on the Freedom team, but are y'all operating also? Because I know you're in Tennessee. Can y'all explain to me just how we're doing this. I know I'm a part of the Freedom Team. I know I'm going to have my team that I work with if I join one for leads and stuff like that. So my Freedom Team is really just my upline. It's my support system. So I want to tell y'all again, thank you for listening to me ramble about my emotions. But I just wish one of y'all could be my mentor. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's why we do this on Tuesdays, because we are all essentially each other's mentors, to help each other through our business, talking, sharing ideas. As far as the Freedom Team, so you came under Tim or somebody within his team, right? And so, which is actually part of my team as well, within the organization of EXP. But it's, first of all, EXP, we're just one big family. We collaborate. Our agency collaborates like no other company. I've been doing real estate 25 years. Agents don't collaborate at the level that we do here at EXP. So Sean, is sort of the top of our tier, Sean Sturrock. And so he and Tim, myself, a couple of us put together this Freedom Team to do these trainings that we do for over and above what EXP does. And so we are each other's support system. We are the ones you can come to with, it doesn't mean you need any one of us assigned to be your mentor. We're here to help you. Tim's there to help you. Your sponsor's there to help you. And so these trainings that we do are designed to help agents new like yourself, or ones that are been in the business and they're struggling, or maybe, not all agents are struggling. We're just collaborative minds coming together to elevate one another, to help one another, elevate our sales. And so I would just say, just plug into all the things we're doing. And I would also say, reach out to whoever your sponsor is. And I'm sure that they also will be another great support person for you, as well as Tim.
Tim, and I'm sorry to Chuck and Steven and Paul to dominate, and Kathy, thank you so much. But yeah, Tim is great. Alejandra Campos is out of Mexico. So that's how I signed up, because I have land in Colombia. So I'm trying to expand agent attraction in Colombia and different things. So that's where my situation is a little bit different. She's still fantastic, but obviously it's different in the States and how we operate here. So yeah, Tim is kind of my go-to. But again, thank y'all for, obviously I knew, but I've been so away from the Freedom Team, forgetting that I have these innate mentors. So I've felt lost and alone. And, Tim is just like, I've given you this, and this, you're not here. And he's right. And so to be here with y'all, it just makes me feel better. So thank you guys.
Well, we're glad you're here. And I would say plug in every Tuesday, because you've got a team of support people right here around you. So, yeah. So who else has something that they want to discuss? Paul.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool. So, one of the main reasons that I came with EXP from Remax was, the core values and all of the technology and everything, because I'm an early adopter. And I have been trying desperately to find a new outlet or input for leads. I'm in a kind of a, everybody thinks their own little market is unique, but I'm I'm 30 miles east of Seattle in the Snoqualmie Valley. And, inventory's tight. Median price for homes in my little town is 1.7 million. So, I've done multiple $1 million transactions. And so I know how to do it, but it just seems that we've got these dominant figures in my market. It's the same people over and over. And I think it might be like that for everybody. You always have those big heavy hitters, but I've been looking for a really consistent form of lead generation. I was with realtor.com for several years. And at one point I was getting 1,000%, return on my investment. It's 17 grand in a year, 170,000 in revenue or in GCI. And then all of a sudden in 2022, everything started drying up, and it got to the point where I was still paying that 17 grand, but I was getting nothing. no leads. And so I started talking to other people around, and they were saying, oh, make it rain, and or all of these other people. I get calls every day. We all do. And the cost per click in my market at my last venture with somebody that said that they could get me a bunch of leads and guaranteed me was $11 a click. 11 a click.
Nice.
Not a lead.
Right.
So yeah, because I mean it's Seattle, we're Silicon Valley North. Okay, we got all the techies up here and all the tech companies and everything. So I mean it's very, very competitive. And like I said, you can make a great living by just selling 5 houses a year, because you're making 30 grand a pop, in some cases. So my question is anybody else noticed it? The more I dig in to the EXP realm, I really was looking more for collaboration, and I was getting ads from people in through like work chat and everything else saying, hey, I can help you get leads. And then when I sit through a 45-minute presentation, the guy says, yeah, I can help you. He goes, I'm number X, in EXP, I make $900,000 a year in rev share. Pay me $8,000 and I'll show you how I do it. And I'm just like going, what? Where's the collaboration? I mean, everybody wants money. I mean, it's just like, is anybody else found that? I mean, it's like, I'm just getting inundated by people. I don't know how I need leads. I need good leads, and I'm not getting anything. I've tried everything: KV Core, landing pages, squeeze pages, the open house trick, where you load everything. I've followed every training. Kathy, I'm here almost all the time, and I'm trying everything. And so I'm just trying to figure out, I've done Facebook. I mean, I started out with Facebook, a guy called Grant Wise, Modern Agent Mastery. I killed it. My managing broker back in 16 was like, oh, you'll never, you got to press the flesh. You'll never make it. I had 400 leads in the first year, paid only 7,000, and I closed like close to 7 million, and it was funny because we were at the award ceremony at Remax, and there was a big buffet, and my managing, or the owner, he says, I can't eat off that buffet. And everybody's like, why? He goes, because I'm too full of eating crow. From this guy over here, because I was getting an award from, Circle of Excellence, because I did well with, and I said, I'd never met these people. So I knew that leads worked. You just had to work them, because it took me a while. It took me 6-8 months before I got my first sale. But I got so overwhelmed with that. That's when I had to jump with, I didn't have time to make my own Facebook ads anymore. And then so I went to and bought some leads from realtor.com, and I killed it immediately.
So Jessica has she put a bunch of things in here. So Jessica's an icon agent. She does amazing. They, on top of being an icon agent, they have 14 Airbnbs. So she's busy, and a 2-year-old. So she's extremely busy and just shaking trees on all ends, as I'd say. So Jessica, talk about what is the win before you start. I see all the things you've got here. So why don't you chime in with Paul here?
Okay, so I just got off a call with Jay Kinder in our state meeting, like just a few minutes ago, and he was talking about Facebook ads that you create yourself and put on to Facebook. And it was a little different than what I've done before, because I've always done ads on Facebook or just boost posts, and it brought people straight to my KV Core landing pages. But they teach you how to run the actual ads through Facebook, so that when people interact on there, you're not taking them away from Facebook. So Facebook prioritizes those ads. They still feed into your KV Core, but you're getting all their Facebook information. So you're getting their real email address and things like that. And when you run the leads, I think he said they're like 17 to 27 cents.
Are you talking about lead ads? Because there are 2 different types. If you do lead ads, you automatically get all their information. It's called lead ads. They're a little more expensive than the typical just Facebook ads that you're just blasting out there. So
okay, I'm not exactly sure what the verbiage was on that, because I have not, like, this is so, like, fresh off the press, like, but he's not trying to sell anything. He's Kathy can give a better bio of who Jay Kinder is and what he's doing.
Well, I'm
But
very familiar with him. I'm very
oh,
familiar.
okay. Okay. So, but the Win Before You Start is the website where you can go and it teaches you how to do it all yourself, using either Chime or KB Core. So I'm going to do that myself. And because you mentioned it, I was like, well, I might as well just share it with you as well.
Yeah.
You can pay to get it all set up, and they'll run ads for you, and they'll get it all set up for you if you don't want to use the brain power. But he didn't even bring that up until I asked the question, like, how much is it just for you to set it up? And he said it was $2,000 and they would do everything for you. But he said, if you watch the presentation, it teaches you how to do it all yourself. So that's where I'm going to start. And then the other thing, obviously, all of us are in the same situation where the market is slowed. So you've still got realtors coming in, new realtors coming in. You've got more realtors buying leads, and there's simply fewer buyers out there, especially if you're in a second home market or a condo market. So from what I've seen.
Not a single condo in my whole town.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that, I thought that was neat because, like I said, I never thought about like my ads keeping people engaged on Facebook. I've
Yeah.
always pulled them into my KV Core immediately. So hopefully that would help, a little bit. I also usually run them off my personal page. So this is going to be new for me to actually do the ads instead of the, the landing and squeeze pages.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'm open to just about everything. So I'll check out that website. Thank you for sending that on the chat.
Sure.
I appreciate it.
So Paul, what do you do to stay in touch with your past people?
Well, I do my best to just, reach out, like I said, just occasionally through KV Core. And I call, I'll text. I stay in touch, I don't, I'm not the greatest. Like I said, as far as I do regret that there's a couple of years there that I probably should, when I first started up, I should have gotten them on a drip for once a year to have birthdays and anniversaries and house anniversaries and all of that other. I did, like I said, I've tried just about everything. I subscribed to these, it was very similar to send out cards, but it was actually, I can't even think of what it is. I bought it and paid for it. I've spent more money than I've ever spent in my entire life on anything with this business. I got another franchise that, I don't spend as much. So, that's the thing, keeping up with the other customer on a consistent basis. I'm very random. So I probably could work on consistency.
Well, and that actually is the other thought that I was going to say, because you had thrown out a lot of different things. I've done open houses, I bought ads, I've done this, I've done this. And that's exactly the word that I was going to come back around to is, are you consistent on any of them? Because, if we just throw things out here, but there's no consistency with them. That's probably the number one key to sales in anything is you've got to be consistent, pick a plan, pick a way and go that way. Well, where most of our lowest hanging fruit is from our past clients or people that we're working with right now. That's why I ask what you're doing with them. Here we are coming on into the holidays. I would do something, get some of your vendors, your lender, your title people, get some of your vendors to partner together with you and do some kind of client event. It doesn't have to be some big splash party or, thousands of dollars, but get together and do some kind of client event. Again, you can get some of your vendors to help offset the cost or pay all of it at the end of the day. And most of them would be happy to do that and get back in front of those people because, just drip it on them. If you've not been on the phone, staying in touch with them, get back in front of them. Almost every time I've done that, it has resulted in business coming. And so here we are at that perfect time. So who has some great ideas? Who's doing anything coming up this, holiday season for their past clients or for their prospects that maybe they want to share? Melissa.
If it's okay, and as you all know, I'm new, I'm 8 months in, but I'm adamant about these sales. So what I thought about doing, and I know y'all have heard about this, but maybe having an Eventbrite to pre-vet some buyers, people that are ready to buy, hold an Eventbrite, a coffee and whatever coffee and cookie event. And I have a preferred mortgage lender I have on standby. I've spoken to him about just kind of getting people in who are actually interested in buying a home or investing in a home. And also we're short inventory here, but just kind of getting them prepped for new constructions and so forth. So I know maybe some of y'all have done something like that. What do y'all think about an in-person Eventbrite, sharing credit tips, what's needed to actually buy a home? Because one of the things I found with myself, I've been running around with buyers a lot who just weren't qualified, and I didn't learn until I learned. And so, yeah, I didn't know what y'all thought about that to kind of prep them.
So I think that's great. I mean, that, we refer typically to that as a first time home buyer, right? Seminar, if you will, or education. So, and that's what you're doing. You're bringing your lender in, talking about with the, critical financing piece of it. You may have your home inspector there, and then yourself. So you're educating people who may be out there in the marketplace about, buying a house, which what you're talking about is a little different than what I was talking about with Paul, because with him, he's been in for a little bit. So he's got established database of people. And so that is what I was talking about. Like, a lot of these people, like Steven's been in the business a while, like several people on here have been on, Jessica's been on, or been in for a while. Is there anything anybody's doing coming up for the holiday season for their clients? One of the things that I've done in the past, we're not doing it this year, but this is one of the things, again, getting yourself face to face with your people, is have a pie giveaway, right? For Thanksgiving coming up. So I would have a place where you would just set up shop, so to speak. It may be a little bit late to do it for Thanksgiving to be able to pull it off as quickly. Maybe not. I mean, if you just really focused on it, but maybe even for the holiday, for Christmas season, or in December, do a pie giveaway. So you give your clients 3 options of different pies, and then you get them together. Usually you can get with a local bakery. Again, you could have your lenders and all help offset the cost for that, and just say, hey, here's 3 choices for your pies. We just appreciate you so much. We want to take care of the dessert for you, and we're going to have a pickup day, X day where you can come pick it up. So what pie do you want to have? So that's just one thought. And again, it gets you back in front of your people. So you're face to face, you're top of mind, you're reconnecting with them, you're able to, chit chat with them. So that's just one simple thought. Anybody else doing anything with the holiday coming up? We've talked a lot. We've had a couple of trainers this past year, on talking about different client events. And here we are at the holidays. So who's doing something for their people? I'm doing ornaments for homes that are decorated. So explain what that means. Are you giving them away, Jessica? What does that mean? You're doing ornaments for homes? Is it a picture of their home?
So, no, I'm doing little Christmas ornaments. I'll probably buy 50, and I'm going to put them in a little bag, and I'm going to do a little personal note on there, because I do have a 2.5-year-old. I can thank the neighbors for decorating their homes and say, we always walk by your house. Lily loves your decorations. Thank you for, being unselfish and taking the time to decorate your home, and just kind of getting, our name and, family values, all of those things out in the neighborhood. So it's not going to cost a whole lot of money. It was also suggested to do like, just different things like you could do little pumpkins and say thank you for decorating for, it's the season, it's the time to be thankful, and we thank you for decorating for Thanksgiving. We go around and count the pumpkins in the neighborhood, or, for Halloween, you could do the skeletons, things like that. So that's just one little thing I'm doing. And then we do the reminder media magazines too.
Yeah, I do those as well. So that's a good way too, to stay in touch with your people. They're really high quality magazines. just to send out. But I love that idea, what you're talking about, Jessica. So, now that's if you want to establish a farm area. And again, though, Paul, talking specifically to you and you're looking for leads, that's something that's consistent, got to be done over time, that will eventually pay out. It's not going to be, today's business. Do you have Op City? Are you familiar with Op City? Have you done anything through Op City? Anybody?
You know what's funny? I was like, when Op City first came out, I was all over it. And I got several leads, but they were almost all duds. Okay. But for some reason, I have reactivated, and Op City's big through Realtor.com bought Op City.
Yep.
And not a single one. And I'm active. And yeah, it's like I said, it's the strangest thing. It's like, unfortunately, I almost have to say, and probably everybody's going to laugh about this, but when you're dealing with nothing but multi-million-dollar homes, these people already have realtors. They have people they already know, love, and trust. They've been probably with them for years as they've grown their journey to being able to afford a $1.7, $1.8 million home. I mean, so they already know people. So, getting in front of them and taking away, taking them away from their traditional realtor, that's a tough one. A lot of my business has been out of city, out of state, especially through Realtor.com. I mean, that's where the majority of them were coming from.
Are you part of the luxury?
No.
Okay. I mean, you may want to look into that. Into the luxury division. Pete Middleton, he's here in Nashville now. So I've gotten to know him. He really, for all practical purposes, really launched our luxury division within EXP. They're up to 1,100 agents now. They're building a very, you're in a luxury type market. Like you said, I mean, low end of your housing around $2 million. Mm-hmm. And so you should really look into the luxury, because number one, their talk is a whole different level of, how do you deal with people that are $2 million, $3, $4, $5 million purchasers coming and going? How do you make connections outside of your area for referral purposes? Right. All of that. So they have a mastermind, the agents that are in luxury, they have a weekly mastermind together, talking strictly luxury stuff, which you fall into that with your sales and what your average sales price is up there. So I'd highly encourage you to really look into and get yourself into the luxury realm within EXP, because I think that you will find some business coming through that.
Okay. And so Anthony says that he, and I do appreciate that, the luxury, but he mentions that he's number 14 out of 250 in his region, does well on the Op City referrals. Can you speak to that, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have my camera on today. I'm out driving, showing houses. But Op City, if you go into your score in the app, they have all these numbers that you start to notice. And if you can start hitting these numbers and being in the top 10% or 5%, you start getting more leads. I think I get somewhere between at least 3 to 5 text messages a day for the opportunity to get a lead. And I usually get 1 to 2 of those. The big thing with Op City is meeting the clients.
Right.
And you can meet the clients over Zoom. You don't have to go out to coffee every time, but if you meet them over Zoom, you count that, and statistically you start showing that you're doing more for those leads on the app, and they start sending you more leads and higher quality leads. So you're not just getting the ones that are not just pre-qualified, but could be already qualified through Realtor.com and their lenders. And of course, you always have that opportunity.
Well, that's my point, though. I haven't received a single lead, not a single one, in probably 4 years, 5 years. And I mean, I look at my app, I look at the Op City app, and it says active.
I would reach out to them and find out, because that doesn't sound normal to me. I mean, maybe your area, I don't know. Maybe there's, a lot of people moving out of California. And so in Europe, and you're not in California, you're
Washington. I'm in Washington.
Okay, Washington. So I don't know that market so much up there, but yeah, I mean, I think I'd put a call, reach out to Op City because it doesn't sound normal to me that you're not getting absolutely anything,
Right.
coming through. Even though it says active, it seems like there may be a glitch because the people that I know that are on there, but to Anthony's point, yeah, you got to get your score up. You get more leads and better leads, kind of in the beginning, you got to take, the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, because, they're giving, as you're doing more, they're, you're elevating your score to get better and more leads.
And
So
you do
Anthony,
want to, sorry, you do want to
Sure.
message through the app also, because that plays into the score too. I know I don't like to do that, but for any of the Op City leads that I have, I always message them through the app, and that counts into your score for better quality also.
oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, I got this referral alerts when I'm looking at my actual, oh, you can't see it, but it says 62 expired, 19 already claimed, and 26 won. And I don't even know where they get those numbers because I'd probably only spoken to maybe 15 or 20 when it first went live. And so, I mean, it's like they're claiming, so there's got to be a glitch going on in here
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's what it sounds like to me. That's why I just reach out to them directly. Yeah.
I will. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Anthony.
No. What else? Who else has something that they want to talk about? So nobody's doing anything for their client. So nobody really spoke up about that. So nobody's doing anything for their client. So what I'm going to do, so I'll just share what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My camera's on. I'm driving.
Hey,
I do have a couple things going on actually, and I live in a little condo community. There's about 300 units in here. So I definitely farm my neighborhood for the last several years, and I have a lot of great referrals and repeat customers because I do that. So I try to be engaged in the activities that the association puts together. We just did a Halloween like a trick or treat walk, and my driveway hosted where we had Jello shots for the adults, candy for the kids, and I also gave out. We popped popcorn. I have an old fashioned popcorn machine, so we popped popcorn and bagged it up, and I put my little stickers saying thanks for popping by. We did that. I'm in the middle right now working on my Thanksgiving cards, just working on my database and making sure everything's up to date there. Just going back through like the last 5 years of my book of business, making sure I'm not missing anybody. I always like to touch them on Thanksgiving. I've done pies in the past, but they didn't go over so well and they're really costly and took a whole lot of time. So I'm just sticking with the cards for Thanksgiving. But then again, on a couple weeks from now, a couple weeks next month with Christmas, we're going to be doing a Christmas stroll. So my driveway will be hosting the hot cocoa station. So lots of opportunities for me in my neighborhood just to be, try to stay top of mind. And I'm always trying to stay involved without overstepping because there's other realtors in my neighborhood too. So I don't come across as pushy. Just as, I continue to do postcard
I love it.
mailers as well. Postcards are still super popular and hardly anybody is doing them. So
Yeah.
I do just lists, just sold to my farm area. That's still really popular. And right now too, I'm also part of the Tom Ferry coaching program, and a big push they're doing right now is just a simple postcard with the QR code on it. That's like what's, basically a home evaluation. So you can send them to and link it right to your website page through KV Core, because there's a home evaluation tool on there. So you can try to generate some leads that way, but it's very plain Jane. Like it's just a huge QR code because everybody wants to see what these QR codes are about, right? And then on the back, it's like, hey, check it out for your free home evaluation or whatever. Give me a call if, whatever, just something simple. But that's really popular right now too, and generating leads for the that Tom Ferry ecosystem. So maybe that'll help.
And going back to Pete Middleton and the luxury, that's what he's doing right now, is doing mailings with postcards. And he sells, he sells a lot of real estate. And he said people got to get back to, that direct mail. Like you said, Jackie, a lot of people aren't doing that, and the QR code is key on there, and driving them to a site to, to be able to capture their information, about like to the home evaluation. So yeah, that's great. I love all the stuff you're doing. So I'm going to take my top 50 people and we're going to have a private room at a restaurant. Not all of them will come. I'm really expecting probably 30 people to show up, but it's about the invite too, right? So we're going to just take them to dinner. I just want to be able to, hang out and connect with them. And so we're going to do, something, simple as that. For me, I've decided not to have our sponsors sponsor any of that. We're going to do that on our own. But there's just a lot of stuff you can do, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Dinner's going to cost a lot, probably. We're not going to a super fancy place, but just do something. Paul, I'm going to come back to you and really everyone on here. For everyone that has past clients, just do something. I love, Jess, what you're doing, just going around your neighborhood. That's kind of going to what Jackie's talking about and building a farm area, right? Just dropping off a little ornament. Thanks so much for spending the time to decorate your house. My 2-year-old loves it. But even if you don't have a 2-year-old, it's, hey, my husband and I love, driving by your house every night. It just gives us joy to see all the lights, right? Just the same note that you can pop in, whether you have a little one or not. So I love that idea. It's just it's just different to be able to do that. So Jess, what'd you say? You could do a friends and clients at your house and do s'mores. Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's good. So again, it doesn't have to be a big expensive thing. It's just about I feel like we've got to get back face to face with some of our clients. And that's why I think getting, client events are important to be able to do that. And for sure, we need to be picking up the phone and staying in touch with them. So let's shift gears just a little bit. All right, Stephen, good seeing you, buddy. So let's just shift gears a little bit because I just want to see if anyone has any questions or what you're hearing, if anything, around the whole NAR lawsuit, how you guys are addressing it or handling it with your clients.
I haven't had any clients mention it. I don't think that the public is as aware as we are.
Yeah.
I have, however, started to reintroduce the buyer broker agreement. And the last buyer that I was working with, I was very successful in explaining the situation. And how we get paid, and they had no problem. I said, I get, my commission is 3% plus my TC fee, whatever. And then when we found a property, I said, hey, congratulations. The seller is offering to incentivizing the buyer's agent with 2%. So that 3% is only going to be 1% for you. And they were like, okay, no problem. So it's just getting comfortable with that conversation again. But if a buyer wants to be represented, which they do typically, because they don't realize that in Florida, we're transaction brokers, but to really make them feel warm and fuzzy, like, hey, I want to represent you to the best of my abilities. And this is what I need you to sign so that I know that we're that we're in a relationship together and we'll work as a team. And I haven't had a problem with it at all. So I've just started implementing it, but I haven't heard anybody like on the public side that has mentioned it to me.
Yeah, same for me. And I would just take I probably wouldn't, but I probably wouldn't bring it up to my clients. I don't think I'm going to bring it up. Now, we got to be prepared if they bring it up. And so I think I love what you're doing, Jackie, that you're, now having those buyer consults on the front end and just starting to educate our buyers about how we get compensated, and obviously y'all all know, like historically, the seller has been paying the commissions. That may start shifting with this whole lawsuit. We'll see how it's going to roll out, kind of what EXP's stance is going to be and how they want us as agents to handle things. But we should always be having buyer consultations and explaining, number one, what we do, and why somebody wants their own representation, why it's important to them, and how we get paid.
Kathy,
in Washington
I can
State,
add to that. I can add to that as well, because I do a lot on the listing side. So I've taken a deeper dive into the listing agreement as well, when it comes to compensation and explaining that this is the fee for, this is my compensation. And out of that compensation, I'm going to offer the buyer's agent X. But essentially the seller and I are agreeing on one commission, right?
Right.
What I do with that commission from there is up to me.
All right.
And I just tell them that, look, it's in everybody's best interest to put the most eyes on your property. So I'm going to offer compensation to a buyer's agent to bring us a buyer, to all the licensed realtors out there who have ready, willing, and able buyers, because we don't want buyers just stumbling through your house that aren't even pre-approved. And I don't know of any agents who are out there showing buyers that aren't pre-approved, because I certainly wouldn't. And I tell buyers that legally, and I mean, I put it this way, I said, legally, I'm not allowed to show you a property unless you are pre-approved, because sellers don't want just random people coming through their properties.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about that? And they all agree. Yep, you're right. I wouldn't want random people coming on the property either. So,
Jackie, I got to ask you, is there a law in Florida that says that?
no, there's not.
Because here in the state of Washington, they're making it mandatory that as of January 1, we have a buyer's agency agreement. And it is so complicated. We've actually had Annie Fitzsimmons, who is the Washington legal hotline, the attorney for Washington Realtors, come on and did almost I think a 3-hour Zoom call with us to explain every line item. And I'll tell you what, I mean, they're making it like you don't want to do an exclusive agency. You want to do a non-exclusive, because now, I guess because the way the law is written, you've got to learn more about it. But they're basically saying if you sign an exclusive agreement, you both have to sign off on it in order to cancel the agreement. So if these people turn out to be complete, you still got to work with them unless they agree to let you out. I mean, it's really crazy here in Washington State. I'm sure you've heard a lot of things about Washington, but yeah, they're just making it go, God, I mean, they're making it mandatory. So we have to have one, but then they're saying, well, if you do it non-exclusive, then you just tell the client, well, we're just dating at this point, and if we decide that you want me as your realtor, then we can sign, and that's the safe bet. But it also, they can have as many non-exclusive agency agreements with as many realtors as they want.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, in Tennessee, it is the law. If you're going to represent somebody as a buyer's agent, you got to have an agreement. And we've had that for a long time.
Okay.
And so you have to have a buyer's agency agreement to establish that relationship. For me, I want to have an exclusive, because I don't want them having the opportunity. I want them, if we're going to be in partnership together, like I want them to be married to me. I don't want them to think that they can go sign non-exclusives with others as well, because we obviously invest a lot of time with our buyers. And so, to what you were talking about and kind of what they were saying, hey, it takes a mutual relationship or a mutual dissolvement to get out of a exclusive. I mean, at the end of the day, if y'all are in a fit, usually most buyer and agent are willing to, move on. So, I think it's a good point that you had mentioned, Jackie, about reestablishing this document. Again, in Tennessee, we've always had to have it, but some agents do a better job about sitting down and really talking about what agency means than others. And so I think we all need to sharpen our saw, and every state is a little bit different. And so I guarantee you that your state broker is doing some classes specifically for you guys, in every state. I know our broker does for Tennessee. I'm sure they all do and all. And I'm going to encourage you guys, if you're not already, to plug into that so that you're, number one, abreast of what you need to be doing in your state, but how your state broker wants you to handle, these buyer agency agreements. But I think, we should be having them anyway. Now we just need to have the conversations with our buyers around them. Maybe a little bit more in detail. I'm not bringing up the lawsuit, though. This is just something we should have always been doing along the way, right? I'm not bringing up, because this lawsuit, we need to do this. No, I'm establishing why they want to hire me as their buyer's agent. No different than a seller, when I'm having that conversation, why do they want to hire me to list their home?
Mr. McMahon,
Yeah.
have you tried the non-exclusive route, and how did it go for you?
With the exclusive route?
The
Non-exclusive.
non-exclusive.
No, I've always done exclusive, and then I just one day said, because I've never dismissed, I've never had to part ways with a client ever, but yeah, I did notice that recently the buyers that I've been getting, I have gotten a couple from Realtor.com. I have one zip code left. And both of them, I took them out to lunch and everything else. We sat down and they were terrified. They were like, well, two of them were from Mongolia. They just moved over here. But the other, who are the other? Oh yeah, the others just, I think they were more like tire kickers because they were like, no, we're not going to sign anything. But, and so no, but my broker's kind of talking to me a little bit about that non-exclusive route. Even though it's kind of an out for a lot of people are using that as an out. And what they're also doing is if they click non-exclusive in where you put area in that, it's a 41, right? Yeah. If you put the addresses of the houses that you actually showed them on that and to say, look, I'm on, here's the deal, you could just, we're going to do a non-exclusive agency arrangement. However, it's going to be exclusive. If I show you these particular homes, then you need to be beholden to me, or at least, you can use any agents you want out there to look at any other homes. But if I take my time out to show you these homes and then you end up going with another realtor, then we're going to have procuring costs. And so it's getting, like I said, it's getting kind of brutal out here. Like I said, those are the kinds of things that other brokers have been bringing to the table in our meetings saying, well, this is what I would do. And I was like, wow, because it's always been like taboo to go after a client for procuring costs. I've never heard of it done. I don't know of anybody that's ever done that. Feedback?
Well, for me, like I said, I've always done exclusives and kind of to Jessica's point, she just, like she said, what she puts is in her special steps is that, there'll be a mutual release if the buyer isn't happy with her services. And you could add, to your point, Paul, you could add in there, if we're not a fit, not that, hey, I'm not happy with you as my buyer, but you could add in there, if we are not a mutually good fit along the process, that either party has the right to cancel the mutual relationship.
So Jessica, basically I didn't even see that post that you did. And so you just write in on the 41, I don't know what they call it where you're at, but so you would put a stipulation to say, is it go right into the buyer's agency agreement, or is there like a line that you fill in?
Our buyer's agency agreement has a space at the bottom for special stipulations. So I would just say, Paul, this is what you use to hire me so that I can represent you. And it states that, my fee is X. And if in the case that a seller isn't offering that, a seller's agent is not offering X, you can, you will pay that, or we can negotiate. You can negotiate that with the buyer, right? Everything's negotiable. So I think one thing that's important to remember is when we're leaving feedback, if you are under contract or you're in an agreement with a buyer to pay you X amount, okay, it can vary. My fee is 3%. So if I'm in a situation and I have a buyer, I do a lot of first-time buyers with 100% no conventional loans through these credit unions and things like that. So a lot of times my buyers they might look at a house and they might really like it. And in my feedback, I will say my buyer had this conversation with me and she loves this house, but can't afford to get into it. And if you start leaving that feedback in the way that the buyer is wording it to you, you're leaving that feedback to that agent, and you're leaving that feedback to the seller. The seller's starting to see that, oh, maybe going with a discounted brokerage, it's not doing me any favors. And that's also a conversation we need to have with our sellers is, this is negotiable, and you are paying me X%, which I am sharing with a cooperating broker. And you can bring up the sales in the area and see which homes are selling for more. But yes, I do have that conversation with you, Paul. And then I'll put in there, I write this in every one because I don't want anybody to feel trapped.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to feel trapped. So in every single of my agreements at the bottom, I put, if you're not happy with my services, there's a mutual release here. So yes, this is required in Tennessee. I want to work with you, I want to work for you. But if you're not happy with me, then you can fire me. No big deal. I don't want to fight. I've got plenty of other clients that do want to work with me. I've only had one person ever that called and said, you were a little too pushy on the last deal, whatever. And they never did buy a house. And when I was telling some of my friends what happened, she's like, well, I need to fire my agent because they're not getting me any houses because they're not pushy enough. This was in the middle of all the chaos. So it actually worked out. It was fine for me. It wasn't fine for them because they never got a house and they're still renting to this day. But that's the only person that I've ever had that I released. But I feel like whenever you write that in the special stipulations, it just takes all that pressure away from both parties because you don't feel like you're trapping somebody, and you still have them under the exclusive. So you still are their agent. So, they can't just go with another agent without having that conversation with you first.
Well, and I'll just add one thing to that. What I do is I have that conversation. I do it both seller and a buyer. And I say, look, we can, if for some reason you're not happy with my services, we can mutual release. I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire because I want you to be happy at the end of the day. But what I do ask is if we are getting anywhere close to that you're just open and honest with me and giving me an opportunity to correct whatever you may not be happy with. And if we can't agree, moving forward, again, I'm going to let you out of it. But I always preface it like, give me the opportunity to fix it before we get to the point where you're wanting to fire me. And I always say, I've never had anybody fire me, but before we get to that point, just say, hey, Kathy, I'm not liking this, and give me the opportunity to fix that. And then if it's still not satisfactory moving forward, hey, we'll mutual release, no harm, no foul. We still, we're friends. So I always just add that caveat because I want to set it up where I don't want them just to stay. I don't want to wait till it's so bad now that they fire me. You just preface it a little bit differently. So we're right at the top of the hour. Does anybody have any last thought? Any last comments, any last thought about anything we've talked about? Or anything new before we wrap up?
About the non-exclusive, what happened is that I heard Mr. McMahon say something about the luxury homes where the agents already have friends and people they've been working with for a long time.
Mhm.
And it happens that, for example, in the area where I am, I think we are a population of, in the whole region, probably 500,000 people. And we have almost 4,000 real estate agents. So it happens that almost every person knows at least 5 or 6 agents who are either their friends or family or something like that. So if you happen to have like a non-exclusive situation like that, and you are somebody who is not well grounded in the community, like I am, you're going to lose every time. Because a lot of times I find that I have already signed a contract with somebody, and there's always somebody out there in the bushes trying to convince them that they are a better agent than I am and all that kind of stuff. And so it is a very difficult situation if you have a non-exclusive and you're telling somebody you can leave anytime you want, and he goes to a Thanksgiving dinner and he finds that his uncle so and so is an agent and he didn't know. Then he comes back and, oh, I have to go work with my uncle, something like that. And it has happened to me a few times already.
Okay. Well, it's
Yeah.
all good feedback. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll be back next Tuesday for the training. Check out your region. The regional rallies are going on this week. Check out your region, and if it hasn't already come and gone in your area, I'm going to highly recommend that you get yourself signed up and plug in. I'm hearing phenomenal feedback from all of them. So and even you, Melissa, there may be another one in a city that's not too far for you, so go check out this calendar.
Tim said Atlanta maybe, so I'm gonna see if there's a chance,
There you
but
go. Yeah,
Thank
Atlanta's
you.
on Thursday. Yeah, they've
Okay.
got Levi Lassick and Noli Williams too. They've got two great people coming to
Oh,
there.
Levi's gonna be at that one.
Levi's going to be in
Pastor-
Atlanta. Yeah,
Pastor-
yeah,
That may just need to happen. Thank you,
yeah.
Kat. So-
All right, y'all have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Bye.